coming up this morning. Striking nurses defy court injunction to call off their strike, which enters day 3 today, leaving many patients stranded in hospitals across the country. Over 1,200 excavators impounded at Tama Port as government intensifies fight against galamsey. Also coming up this morning, International Monetary Fund IMF board expected to meet this month to decide on Ghana's fifth tranche of $370 million. We have details of these stories and many more coming up in the next 20 minutes if you spend your time with me. You can also get interactive with us. We're live on Facebook as TV3 Ghana. Well, let's begin from here. The administrator of the Mineral Development Fund, Dr. Hanabisu, and journalists and police officers were held hostage at Akonfre, a galamsey-prone area in the Chumamponia district of the Ashanti region. The gun-wielding thugs demanded the release of 7 Chinese illegal mining suspects arrested for engaging in illegal activity.
Hori, a once vast arable land, now dissipated. Akonfre, a major producer of cocoa, now a pale shadow of itself due to illegal mining. With pockets of roofing sheets, the suspects are fenced to conceal their identity. Their local collaborators are always ready to shield them. We were told informants are victimized, sometimes assassinated. We cannot independently verify this claim. Danny Boy, an illegal miner, accused foreigners of degrading their land.
We are in support of what you are doing. We do not expect the foreigners to benefit from this, so we are pleading with the government to help us.
After several search, 7 Chinese were rounded up. They were accosted to the degraded site just to show them how they have ripped apart an entire forest.
To my biggest disappointment as a woman, as a Ghanaian, as a leader, will be to see these ones set free, and somebody will now be demanding that President John Dramani Mahama should give money to restore water bodies, to provide potable water. And you know, John Mahama...
My name is Lotte.
Your name is Lotte. Lotte, are you happy with what you're saying?
No.
You're not happy with what you're saying? So, if you're not happy with what you're saying, why will you continue to degrade the land?
English. No English.
All right, so interesting. You ask their name in English and they tell you. But you ask that simple question, are you happy with what you're saying? They said they do not understand English.
The operation almost turned south when gun-wielding thugs held the task force, including the administrator of the MDF, hostage. They started shooting. They want the Chinese suspect released, but the MDF task force was resolute. The thugs then led the team to the Nyineni District Police Command. Here, tension heightened. Eventually, the suspects were brought to the regional police headquarters for further interrogation.
And now the Deputy CEO of the Forestry Commission, Elikem Kotoku, has proposed establishing forest clubs in Ghana's 7 forest zones to educate younger generations on conservation. This initiative, he believes, will promote sustainable forest management and protect the country's natural resources. Meanwhile, Western Regional Minister Joseph Nelson has called on traditional and community leaders in mining areas to collaborate with authorities to identify illegal miners and participate in land restoration efforts. Irama Smith has more.
As Ghana champions Sustainable Development Goal 15, we are reminded of its critical mission, protecting, restoring and sustainably using terrestrial ecosystems. This goal is essential for the country's survival and prosperity. In the Western region, illegal mining has ravaged forest reserves and ecosystems. To address this, the Western Regional Coordinating Council has partnered with security agencies to plant 100 royal palms at the naval base, with plans to plant 3,000 trees in the Subri Forest Reserve under the World Environment Day themed Restoring Degraded Landscapes. Western Regional Minister Joseph Nelson called on traditional and community leaders in mining areas to join forces against illegal mining, among others, to foster sustainable development and environmental stewardship.
In the Western region particularly, due to our gold resources, small-scale miners have destroyed many areas, including forestry. These large tracts of land will require restoration and tree planting. I therefore invite stakeholders in the land restoration space, including miners, to assist the WRCC and its partners to restore all degraded lands in the Western region. I call on our chiefs, community leaders, and assembly members in mining communities to assist us in identifying persons who mine in their respective communities to undertake land restoration efforts in those communities.
Deputy Chief Executive Officer of the Forestry Commission, Elikem Kotoko, emphasized the need to establish forest clubs in Ghana's 7 forest zones. He believes this initiative will instill a culture of forest protection and preservation among younger generations, ensuring a sustainable future for Ghana's natural resources.
Let this movement serve as a catalyst for sustained action, one that moves beyond communication into commitment. It is with firm belief that I challenge us all to ensure we nurture these trees so they grow and blossom to serve the intended purpose. We at Forestry Commission believe that we should now begin to consider forest clubs, for instance, in the 7 major forest zones in this country, so that our younger brothers and sisters will have imbibed in them the culture of protecting and preserving our forests. Just as we have the Boys Guide clubs, the Red Cross, the wildlife, etc., we should be having forest clubs as well too now. We should further encourage that we have forest festivals that will attract tourism. And I believe that the extent to which it can benefit us all is even economical.
Irama Smith, TV3 News, 2nd D.
And now, the Ghana National Association of Farmers and Fishermen, the umbrella organization for rural agricultural producers, says they will collaborate with government to do reclamation of all lands destroyed by illegal mining activities. At a news conference to announce at July 11 Congress as part of the rebranding agenda, a consultant for the group, Francis Ofori-Atta, regretted that all farmlands have been taken over by mining activities.
The Ghana National Association of Farmers and Fishermen is working fervently to rebrand its activities and operations since it plays a significant role in the agriculture sector from November 1992. The group bemoaned the lack of policies and initiatives aimed at addressing the concerns of farmers and fishers in Ghana. Francis Ofori-Atta is consultant for the group.
To unite all farmers and fishermen in Ghana into one solid organization to provide internal, economic and welfare services to members, to serve as mouthpiece or a common voice for farmers and fishermen in Ghana, and also to collaborate with government of Ghana in pursuit of agricultural advancements, among others.
As part of the rebranding, the association is set to organize its national congress slated for July 11 and 12, 2025. The Congress will elect new leaders and take pragmatic steps to protect farmers' rights.
We, as an association, what we seek to do is to partner with government and relevant agencies to rather go back and reclaim the destroyed lands. We want to fill the pits. We want to cover the pits so that we can go back and farm on those lands again. And that's why we are saying that we want government intervention and then civil society collaboration to be able to do this. Our research has shown that areas where they have done reclaim of the land, the yield is even better. So we are confident that if we are able to reclaim the destroyed land, we can farm better on those lands and bring something to the table.
In more news this morning, the International Monetary Fund Board is expected to meet this June 2025 to decide on a critical staff-level agreement which would unlock Ghana's fifth tranche of $370 million. Chief Executive Officer of Dailys Finance, Joe Jackson, knows that securing this amount would further strengthen the cedi and good for business planning. This $370 million tranche is part of Ghana's larger $3 billion bailout program.
The more reserves we have, the more stable the cedi is going to be. $370 million is likely to come. All that makes for a stable cedi. All that makes for a lot more comfort for the average business person who can see the cedi being stable, who can see things staying the way they are, and is able to plan. And when you plug in the optimism, business optimism from January, then you have a situation where at this moment things look very stable with a positive outlook. We are not out of the woods yet. We haven't dealt with all the risks and challenges yet, and we just pray that the alignment that has brought us this far will stay the same way.
Now let's shift to Parliament because Minority Leader Alessandra Penyo-Markin is demanding an urgent explanation from the Finance Minister, Dr. Kesilato Forson, over persistent delays in payments to the private sector and the release of funds to ministries. According to him, the situation is threatening the execution of key government programs and the efficient running of ministries. Alessandra Penyo-Markin said the Finance Minister must appear before Parliament to explain the cause of the delays as the current situation is undermining confidence in the economy. Take a listen.
An economy cannot be run where there are no payments for work done by the private sector. Where the Ministry of Finance has come to this House, presented the budget statements, this House approving appropriation, then 3 months down the line, no payments are being made. Releases to ministries are delaying. We don't know what the problem is. What is happening? Ministry of Trade and Industry, Ministry of Education. Mr. Speaker, all ministries are complaining. The banks are worried. To sustain the banking sector, the Ministry of Finance must pay the private sector. Mr. Speaker, the ministries would have to execute the agenda for the year. And if they don't have what it takes to execute, how can they execute? Mr. Speaker, the Finance Minister must come to this House. He must be programmed to come to explain what is delaying payment. After Parliament has appropriated, the Minister of Finance will decide not to take action. Why are the ministries not receiving that which we have already approved for them? Mr. Speaker, I would want to strongly conclude by saying that the true test of economic management lies not in short-term successes. It lies in a long-term comprehensive policy that looks at all sectors of the economy, including timely releases to ministries to enable the minister to function and function well. The Ministry of Finance must tell this nation something. The ministers must rise up to this occasion by letting us know why they remain silent whilst appropriations meant for them have still not been released to them.
Alessandra Penyo-Markin is a minority leader in Parliament. If you just tune in, you're watching the special Idul-Adha edition of the Bonnie News here on New Day. Now, every 3 minutes, a child is born with Clubfoot condition. For this reason, the Christian Health Association of Ghana, Chuck Hope Walks, and officials of the 37 military hospital are calling on government, agencies, and private organizations to end the burden of Clubfoot in Ghana.
On June 3rd, Ghana joined the global community to celebrate World Clubfoot Day, a moment to honor the remarkable children who have undergone treatment and recognize the incredible work of caregivers, clinicians, and partners across the country. Every 3 minutes, a child is born with Clubfoot. Though it cannot be prevented, Clubfoot is highly treatable using a simple and effective method involving a series of casts and braces. In 2024, 346 new children enrolled on the Ghana Clubfoot program, which is led by the Christian Health Association of Ghana, CHAG, and supported by Hope Walks. Squadron leader Stella Elikplin Blawete, Deputy Chief Physiotherapist at the 37 Military Hospital, explained the casting process.
So this is a casting phase. After the scoring, we do progressive casting. So every week and how we manipulate it and then cast it in that way. So the first cast is different from the second cast, but in all it should be progressive to get it corrected. And then after we have achieved some correction, that is when the surgeons come in and do the tenotomy. And then we will do the cast again to maintain it in that corrected phase for 3 weeks before they start wearing the shoes.
Elena Champon, the parent advisor at the CHAG Hope Walks Clinic, said with early diagnosis, children born with Clubfoot can grow up to walk.
Talk to their parents, take them through the whole Clubfoot treatment process. For Hope Walks, that's the CHAG Hope Walks Clubfoot, we use the Ponchetti process of treatment. And when parents come, I take them through how the process goes from casting through the tenotomy to bracing.
Some parents expressed their satisfaction with the correction process.
Because of the Chinese, the way also, yeah, serious, fashion.
Now, President John Mahama says his administration will give more power to district education directors in the management of schools. The president believes this will help reduce teacher absenteeism and stop the payment of salaries to undeserving teachers.
It was a campaign message to reform the educational sector, and shortly after assuming office, he assembled players in the sector for a nationwide consultation. All 16 regions categorized were visited. After 4 months, the committee has presented its report to the president. John Mahama stressed that district directors must be given greater authority and be made autonomous.
Centralized decision-making has led to delays, inefficiencies, and disconnection from the local realities. Decentralization would not only improve service delivery, but also restore a sense of ownership and agency at the grassroots level. It is my favorite one. I mean, Ghana Education Service, you sit in Accra here, and you think you can manage that school in Ofori-Atta in Bole Bamboy district. I mean, it doesn't make sense. We must give greater authority to the district directors and make them autonomous to be able to manage the schools. That's when we'll be able to know which teacher has not come to school.
Recruitment in the educational sector has become an issue successive governments have battled with. He explained that vacancies should be declared at the district levels of education.
And so if you want to teach and you want to be recruited, Bole needs 200 teachers. You apply for the district you want and you are employed in the district. Why do we sit and do mass posting of teachers from the center? I think that we must look at all those things so that we are better able to strengthen education at the district level.
And now, for a lawyer for the man exonerated on charges of conspiracy to rob in the famous Atayi robbery case says he will seek compensation for his client Yaw Asante Jekuma after serving over 2 decades in jail. The Court of Appeal acquitted and discharged the 47-year-old motorcycle repairer after noting that the evidence against him was not sufficient for his conviction. My colleague Lodi Dwasari reports.
Because I'm very happy. It's been a while.
Yeah.
Anytime when I go there and visit him, I feel sad. I can't even eat well if I visit him. But today, it's a tears of joy. I'm very happy and I'm grateful.
Words of 22-year-old Jennifer Jekum the only daughter of exonerated man who was wrongfully convicted for conspiring to commit robbery with notorious armed robber Atta in 2002. She was only a month-old baby when she was separated from her 24-year-old father. Yao Asante Jekum, a mechanic, now 47 years old, was sentenced to 35 years in 2010 at age 24 after he was arrested on allegations of being an accomplice to notorious robber Ayi Ayite, also known as Atta, in December 2002. His lawyer, George Benashaw, had argued that Asante Jekum's only link to Atta was that most of the bikes used by the robbers in Atta's fraternity were repaired in his workshop. In court on Thursday, June 5, a 3-member panel of justices held that the prosecution handling the case failed to provide enough evidence to warrant the conviction and the sentence meted out to him. Justice Abuajetano, reading the judgment, indicated that Asante Jekum's situation was a classic case of wrong association. He averred that it would be difficult for him to explain that he wasn't part of the gang of the notorious Atta if he was often seen entering the convict's abode, citing the adage, "Show me your friend and I'll show you your character." The Court of Appeal, however, held that evidence against him was not sufficient to warrant his conviction and granted Yao Asante Jekum's appeal. In his first interview as a free man, Yao Asante Jekum, now 47, was overcome with emotion.
I always pray to God to be exonerated from this wrongful conviction because I am innocent of the crimes attributed to me. I was only doing my job as a repairer. I will go and visit Atta because I harbor no ill feelings.
His lawyer, George Benashaw, said he will seek compensation for his client who was deprived of his productive years.
All those years have been wasted. He could have made a fortune and he's been incarcerated with no reward. So there should be some massive, and after compensation, there should be some serious compensation. Money cannot make up for the time he's lost, but at least it can help him to start again.
Now a free man, Yao Asante Jekum will return home into the loving arms of his family. Among other things, he will now be reintegrated back into society. As a mechanic, he's got a lot more things to offer.
And now, former Finance Minister Ofori-Atta has officially been placed on Interpol's red notice list following a renewed request by Ghana's Office of the Special Prosecutor. The notice, made public on June 5, 2025, intensifies international efforts to locate and provisionally arrest the former minister, who is currently believed to be in the United States receiving medical treatment. The 65-year-old, wanted on charges of using public office for profit, is described by Interpol as a Ghanaian male born on November 7, 1959, in Accra with black hair and eyes, standing 1.7 meters tall. He speaks both English and Twi. This marks the second time Ofori-Atta has been declared wanted by the OSP. We'll see how this very development pans out in ensuing days, but sure, trust TV3 will follow up and update you in our subsequent bulletin. That's how we end the morning news. For more news updates, you'd want to log on to our website, it's 3news.com. You can also follow us on Instagram, TV3.gh, for all the latest updates. Eid Mubarak once again to our Muslim brothers and sisters. Thanks for watching. Enjoy your holiday.